Alright, today was a very, I'd say fruitful, but long day at Lowe's getting anchors and washers and all the stainless steel hardware to mount this and these to these. Now, because I don't trust this wall, because I know I'm not going to hit wood, I'm going to mount, I've discussed it with my roommate and we agreed, instead of trusting this giant screen, which is just, there's the frame there, and there are the L's, to anchors in the wall, I would anchor 1x6s. I said 1x5s, but now I've made it 1x6s. There and there. And I have 10 anchors apiece if I wanted to. I bought a pack of 20. So I'm going to go 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and then 2 at the bottom. And then the hinge will mount to wood. And I know I'm going to get good at contact with wood. And I bought screws wide enough to go through wood and the plaster behind it for any sort of benefit. And then my gas lifters are going to attach somewhere down here, and they're just going to go screw, screw, and it's going to be done. And since this is resting here on the windowsill that comes out, I'm not worried about it shearing downward. Now my concern is only getting pulled out, which has always been my concern. But I think now that I've got such a big surface area and so many legs are going to go into this, I may do 8 from the halfway point up and then just 2 at the bottom. That I'm not really concerned about it pulling out. I mean, I'm always going to be concerned about it pulling out. I would have put 2x6s here if they wouldn't have looked stupid. But this will line up. I'm going to paint these white, by the way. Bought my paintbrush. Bought me a paintbrush. I had them mix me some semi-gloss white. And we're just going to put it right up next to it. And then I can start assembling the actual hardware. I'm still waiting for a Misumi order. I can't even fucking believe how expensive it was, but I bought pieces to turn those Martin Logan subwoofers down there into the base of 2 legitimate speaker stands. So the extruded aluminum, the bigger stuff, the 90x90, will mount to the top of the Martin Logan. Then it will come up 28 inches, nearly that, 700 millimeters. And then those isolator plates will mount to the top of it. And then I'll have very tall speaker stands, and I'll get into that in a whole other video, which I'm going to call height dominance, which is a whole new term I've just coined, I think. And we'll discuss that. But for now, I've got to figure out exactly where I want to anchor, pre-drill those, then paint those, and they're probably going to take a day to dry before I could actually anchor to the wall. Just getting a little lined up on the day's events and the $60 worth of hardware I need to fix all this and everything. Little preview of what's going on with the wall. I didn't hammer this one in yet. Probably needs to be drilled out slightly more. Alright. Cat. Boom. You're looking at 10 wall anchors per side, totaling 20 wall anchors, because I don't trust what I built to be supported by just 3 or 4. Now, what's going to happen now is, here are the boards, or here's one of the boards. I painted it white, and it almost matches. It's actually much nicer than my white. And I drill the holes in the board first, and I put the board up against the wall, and I drilled through the board, and now I've opened the holes up, and now I put the anchors in. So 2 at the bottom, because the bottom is irrelevant. This is where all the weight's going to be hanging. So there's 8 anchors up there. And I'm pretty sure they don't line up exactly with where the murder hinges are. Here are the murder hinges. Took me an hour to shop for all the hardware I needed to find the right shape and the right amount of thread and the biggest goddamn things I could. So now I'm going to put 20 anchors through this, and I've countersunk them, although you can't really see it. Countersunk them slightly. And once those are up, then it's just a matter of hanging the L's. Bam. And we'll see how that looks in like, I don't know, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Alright, you see the boards are up on the wall. There's a gap here because the window frame is bent, not my board. Now, so the 10 wall anchors are in, And here you see the mark of the hinge. The hinge is here. And it looks like that. And I determined where to put that hinge by literally taking the entire T with the hinge on it. And then I accounted for the space of the screen against the ceiling. And I held it in place, and my roommate marked out the holes. So when this folds up, it's going to be within 3/4 of an inch to an inch of the ceiling with the whole screen. So that's right there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pre-drill for these. And these were special bills here because I needed triangular head, flat top, which this isn't quite flat top. I also needed it to be threaded all the way to the neck. And like lag bolts wouldn't work, so I had to, these are like sold in 3 packs for like $4, but I need 8 of them to hold this up. So now I'm going to pre-drill to get these in there, and then I could actually put the hinges on. Once the hinges are on, then I could disassemble what I've got and then reassemble with the L's at least in place. We'll see how that. All right. Hinges are mounted. These are mounted. I've included these are the stops. I bought special length things, and I put the post build nuts in there. And it goes up. It's slightly crooked, but I'm blaming that on the twisted wood, which I got, but it was pretty damn straight. But that's not going to matter. Once I have the screen on there, it'll square everything off. Next is these. These, once I put them on, which by the way, that's an 8mm thread, so I'm going to be able to put it right into one of the nuts, right inside of that. And then I'll figure out where to mount that, so that this defaults to up there. And then I should have to pull it down, and God help us all. God help us all. Things are coming together, and it's scary. Because I'm not one to hide behind a mistake I've made. Here's my mistake. So there's my pneumatic hanging there. That's all good. It's all good. Well, good. I can attach it to the wall here, and I'll attach it up here, and it'll hold it up. The issue comes when you lift it. After a certain point, she hits the hinge, and that hangs about 3.5 inches off the wall. I didn't take into account this hinge sticking out as far as it does. So, what that means is I have to postpone the rest of this assembly until I get another piece of this, at least one more piece of it, to put below here, like a 7 or 8 inch section. Both sides. I will move this down, and I will block out on a, I'll get something nice to put over here for this to mount to. And then it will clear the hinge. Easily clear the hinge. And then it'll go up. But right now it does work, and if I lift this up, that's really, really heavy. Oh, God. But yeah. The fact that I can lift it up with that means that that actual thing will not compress under that weight, at least. Not sure what the weight of the entire screen there. That plus those. And again, if I need to, once this is all assembled and actually functioning up and down, I'll determine if I need to get another set of these put on the inside. Alright, live, learn, love, drink Pepsi. I sort of solved that problem I was talking about by putting another bracket there, and then I put this piece of wood in the wall to clear it, and now that happens. And that's as high as it goes. Keep in mind, that's only one, and the weight of the screen is not on it. So as soon as the weight of the screen's on it, it's going to be like blur, or blur, like that. So, what I did on that one, because it hasn't been attached yet, is I slid that attachment point closer, because I do have some leeway when fully compressed. Right there. It will touch all the way in. So hopefully when I get that one attached, I need my friend's help or I'll kill myself. It'll push it up at least level with nothing. And then I'm either going to have to order another set. And I'm a little hesitant now because the actual force it takes to pull this down, like down. Like I'm pushing it to get it down. So, those things have some strength, but not It's not infinite. Still not bad. I mean, I could push a little more, and it'll stay there. More things make better good. So there it is with the pivot point moved closer to the pivot point. Yeah. So that one's 8 inches away from the front. That one's 9.5 inches away from the front. And it is much faster. Here, it compresses just fine. Makes that cool sound like a Terminator. Versus this one, which is harder to do for some reason because there's less leverage. It just goes up slower. Ironically, however, they do both go to about the same height. That one's obviously a little bit more. And I had never intended it. I would love if it went all the way up, but, you know, that's asking for miracles. So, what's probably going to end up happening is I'm going to probably order a heavy-duty neodymium magnet. And when I put that screen frame, which is, you know, more weight. How much more weight? More weight. This is probably going to hang somewhere like there. So that'll be neutral. That'll be the neutral hanging point if I don't add another set of pistons. And that means I'll be able to push it down and clip it, or lift it up. I have to assist it manually and go click, and it'll just be out of the way. So when it's time to watch a movie, you pull a string or a handle, it goes puh, disconnect it from the magnet because you weigh, you know, 180 pounds. I wish. It goes puh, and then it'll just sit, and then you give it the rest of the way. And then you watch Evangelion 333 in 235 to 1 at 104 inches. And you're just like, More on this as it develops. Alright, many times you're going to find yourself working on a project like this alone. Because no one wants to talk to you, because you're crazy. Where I had reset that one, I just reset this one. We're now 10 inches from the end instead of 8. Which will give a little more lift. Put the piston under a little more strain, get a little more assist out of it. And these are just assist pistons. Because it was never going to hold it up to the ceiling. It was a wet dream of mine, but it's never going to happen. But like literally, there's no weight there. These are pretty heavy and they're pretty long and there's no weight. So once I put that on there, if I can get it to hover like here and just lift it the rest of the way and have it attached to the ceiling in some manner with either magnets or a hook, then I'm happy. So, I put the camera on my head in case I get killed. I want to have a video record of what went wrong. Because I had my roommate here, and he held that up against the ceiling with a piece of wood. And then I compressed and popped in the thing. You can't help me, tubers. So now I'm alone, and I have nothing long enough to hold that against the ceiling unless I get the ladder and start wedging wood, and that doesn't seem very safe. Especially if I'm shaking things. So, I'm going to use my extreme animal strength to lift this piston up, which should lift this all the way up to the ceiling. Then I'm going to compress it a bit, and this is about a 100-pound piston, and then I'm going to pop it on this ball joint and pull the screwdriver out, which will release the clasps. You shouldn't be here. It could get messy. Yo, I gotta move her. If this thing goes swinging, I don't want it hitting her in the head. Fly. Stay there. I better do this quick. Alright, enough talk. Compress. Bring it in. Let it down a little bit. I can compress more. Down. Okay. Yeah. My back hurts now. Now we're compressing all the way to closed, pretty much. Also, it was bothering me all night. This hinge, since it's squashed against a freshly painted piece of wood, was creaking like a haunted house. Like, you know, that wasn't going to happen. So I climbed up there with a block of wax and my torch, and I just melted wax behind the entire hinge, and now it doesn't squeak. And now these are almost too high to grab. Built an exercise machine. That one's still faster, just slightly. No matter when they're tethered together with that, which I'm going to do at some point. And then, once it's there tethered together and the extra weight's on, they're not going to be out of the way. They're going to be very in the face height way. And I'm going to have to, like I'm just thinking of different ways to do it. I could do a pulley there that I just like yank down here and it just finishes the rest of the lift. Because it just needs to go back like 3 inches there, which will be more like 8 inches once the screen is weighing it down. But I think lifting it here where the least amount of torque and the most amount of mechanical advantage will be attaching it here. The problem being, well, actually, you know what? Strike that. Because I was worried because the screen was going to completely cover this and be on the outside. But I had to lower these off the ideal positioning because of where I mounted them, the wood to the wall. It would have to have been up about 1.5 inches. So because the hinge is down 1.5 inches, that means the L is down 1.5 inches, and that's why when I pull this down, it's right around there, like the actual height of this cabinet. It was supposed to be up. I was supposed to have the screen at the very bottom. Now the screen's going to have to be up like that much. And that's good. That's a good thing. That means I could use this, the exposed bit of this, as what I use to attach to the ceiling. So it's little miracles. Otherwise, I'm going to have to put like a magnet behind the physical screen material and have it touch between the screen material. That would have been bad. So yeah, things are progressing. Next, I have to figure out now, because these things are not easy to hold. If I like, I'll just put this chair in front of it. Tells that chair to fuck off. So I'm going to have to get something heavy, big and heavy. Maybe I'll put 2 of those chairs with like a massive amount of, even if I put the chair's in the way. I got to figure out a way to get these to stay down. Could I put something above it? Have anything that long? Just sort of fucking hold it. Either way, I'm proud of what I've done so far. And I didn't get killed just now. Happy time. Alright. Friends on vent. I had them with wood against the ceiling, holding them down, and that was dangerous because as soon as I leaned anything against it, it was like, oh, free, and I fell down. So this is now worked out, where I've used these locks I made for this when it was going side, but around, and then I got to keep them from sliding up, so I have them attached to the windowsill, and they're being held down very tightly. So now I'm going to readjust the pivot mounts because obviously I just placed those there and I didn't exactly measure when I put this up. It would have been too hard to work out the details. So now I'm going to tape measure the very top here between the two is 52 inches. And because of the slight crookedness of that hinge, and it's just slight. The slightest of slightness. The bottom is 2 inches closer. So now I have to straighten it out. When I do this, those are obviously going to have to be parallel. So it's going to be like, and then I'm going to attach. So that's 52. That means I got to make. So I really should be measuring to the dead center of this, which is going to add. How many 16ths of an inch is that? This is just under 7/16. So less than a quarter. It's going to add less than a quarter at 52. 52 is less than a quarter, and then you go back and you're doing. I wish that would stay in that hole. That's what she said. So yeah, these have to come apart about 1 inch, 1.5 inches. And then I have to put the pins back in it. Then I have to slide it down, which is, oh my god, gonna be hilarious. Luckily, it should sit where those end now past this. It should sit on this and let me lift it and then tighten. I'll lift it, level it, tighten it, and then I'll be in the goal zone. Winner. This is the finicky stuff that you get scared of. I have no idea what's going to happen when I let those go and this is attached to it. It's going to probably lift to about here, but I should be able to lift it with one finger near the ceiling, just one finger. That's what my goal is, because when it was heavy, when if just hinges and none of those, then it's 60 pounds. But now it's going to be like, oh, 8 pounds or something, and then I'll be good. So, work, tedious, long, twitchy work happening currently. No intro, no talking, just attempting success. So one, very gently grabbing on, hand tightened. Let's hand tighten it some more while I'm at it. Now, what I'm basically doing is I'm just dropping the nuts, which lands there. Then I take my needle nose pliers, lift it up, if I can get underneath it, because the needle nose are thick for some reason. Get it in there. Come on. I think, yeah, I definitely got to grab. I'm going to squeeze this one a little bit tighter. Where's my tool? That's what she said. I'm just not tightening it to the point where the lock washer engages. I just want to get it so that it doesn't fall on me, because I still have to slide these up. Now the bottom ones, since I'm not using the repair aftermarket ones, means I have to go in from the bottom and up, which means I'm going to need a pencil. And skill. Alright. Nut up, baby. There's our nut. There's our bolt. Squeeze. Hand tighten it. And repeat. Word from us. So these are all measured out, equidistant. These were all mounted equidistant from the center points. So it's officially being held-ish in place. Now, I'm going to loosen these, and I'm going to get these 2x4s and those little 3/4 pieces to scoot it up, because I think that's around where it needs to be. Then I'm going to level it. Then I'm going to tighten everything, and then I'm going to release it, and I'll record that. So, alright, I just did all my banging. That's level. We're equidistant from the wall. There was a twist in it. Gotta get rid of that. According to these calculations, it should just fit. I shouldn't have to take these out, but I'm doing it anyway, because I'm nervous. Come on. You bitch. There you go. So you get the ones that you can do that to. suck. Oh, no. Okay. I guess I should hold... I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't want this to go up and hit me in the nuts. That'll be a hilarious video, but... Oh! I'm holding it down. Actively holding it. Wow. Not even close. I mean, it's lighter. I mean, I'm just lifting it. But if you drop this, that's fast. Ooh. Ooh. I gotta double those pistons up. Which sucks, because they work out so well so far. It's not impossible though. Yeah, it's gonna go. I'd say this weighs 20 to 25 pounds right here. So you still gotta push it to go down all the way. So, another $40 to spend on pistons, and then I just gotta make go. You were wrong, Cat. You were wrong! And then I'll look at screen materials too.